Hello, my name is Marcia Brechtel, and I'm one of the co-creators of Project GLAD. In cooperative learning, it was very important that the students see that there are ways to get along. And using the T-graph for social skills really honed the kids in on the kind of cross-cultural strategies and regular communicative strategies that we wanted built in the classroom. So for example, our cooperative word for the unit might be patience. Who did you see showing patience during the day today? Well, I saw it out on the playground. Johnny really wanted to be the one to kick the ball, but he waited and he smiled while he waited. So he was showing patience. So we would recognize students who were practicing the standards. Could be cooperation, could be respect, could be understanding, could be whatever you thought the students needed or you thought was going to be exhibited in the content. If a book you're reading really shows persistence or something like some concept like that, then that would naturally be one that you would work on in your classroom. And the students would see it reflected in the work that they were reading or doing. That T-graph for understanding was important because the kids also, that was a time where someone in the group, they would pick a number and that would be the one. What did your team practice today? We practiced respect or understanding. And how did you do that? And they would answer, and how many points do you think your team earned? So, and of course we kind of had to limit it because they go, we were really good, we think 100. So we would say, between 1 and 5, how hard did your team work on persistence? And they'd give points, and people always said, what did they get for the points? Nothing. Never got anything, just points. But it was like a physical recognition that they had actually worked at it. And it was wonderful that they could express it and so forth, but they also enjoyed just seeing, look, we're really working hard at persistence in our group. We did a lot of cooperative learning, and we were very careful to make sure that in our co-op groups there was a variety of levels of English, levels of content understanding, community, culture, and we tried to get that going. And we did. We made a very determined effort to make that happen. We made an effort to put diversity in our groups, not just diversity of culture, but levels of learning, so that they could teach each other and learn from each other. Not that we required that was one of the arguments teachers had. Well, so-and-so will be asked to be a teacher all the time if we do that. And I said, no, not if you build your co-op groups so that is not seen as what happens. Because we would pick a number or a color, and that person in the team was the person who would share out the team's work. Not just the best teacher, and not just the best student in English, not the best student in learning. So building cooperative groups carefully can be one of the best tools for helping students learn from each other. Developed quickly or badly, it can be very debilitating to the group that's in the low group. It takes careful planning, but the results are wonderful because the students begin to learn from each other, and they begin to be, as Linnea would say, a family within that 4. And so when we had an example, it was wonderful, everybody clapped. One of the more recent students had come, and she was in the group, and we gave her a number, or gave her a color. I think we were doing colors. And the team, I said, all right, team, because one of them said, she doesn't speak English. I said, so what are you going to do so she can share out what she needs to for your team? And they said, well, we could tell her what to say. I said, all right, How are you going to do that? Oh, we'll all stand right around her and we'll tell her what to say because it's her turn. And I said, all right, I'm going to give you 2 minutes, get together as a team, tell her what she needs to say, and we'll hear it out. And she did. They told her, I think it was the blue sky is pretty, something equally innocuous. But how they felt about having worked together and made success for the team and success for this individual was amazing. And the individual had seen how this working together works. She felt she was part of the team. They were clapping her on the back because she did it. So building it not as, all right, you have to tell her what to do, as opposed to, she's a team member. How are you going to work together as a team so she can share out what you need her to share out? And how we phrase things as teachers sometimes is the key. How is it perceived as students? Instead of the inevitable, who can translate for Susie? You know, these are elementary or middle school kids. They don't want to translate for anybody. But if you don't address it in that manner, if it's something that they do as we work together, then it has a different focus, doesn't it?